So we're gonna talk about the Idaho. English is a hard language. Twin Falls, Idaho shooting at an In-N-Out burger. Um, I just imagine the food couldn't be that bad that it would justify shooting someone, but maybe this guy disagreed. Um, so to make a long story short, we have a gunman shows up at an In-N-Out burger, engages the In-N-Out burger with an AR. He gets off a couple rounds, and a customer of the In-N-Out burger in the drive-thru retrieves a suppressed pistol from his car and engages the guy with the rifle. Dude with the rifle decides to nope the fuck out at that point, which is probably a good idea. Just putting that out there. I'm unclear on whether or not the guy killed him. Brave says that I don't think he was killed. Oh, he committed suicide. Okay, yeah. So the shooter committed suicide. Usually, that's what happens with these things: is you'll see the shooter commit suicide, or the shooter will charge the police when they run out of ammo. Death by cop, suicide by cop. This is a common thing for people that just want to die and they just want to go. They want to commit suicide, but they don't have it in them to pull the trigger themselves. This is a common thing, and I'm almost wondering if this ain't what that was. Now, like I've said many times, we do have lots and lots of. God damn it! Stop playing! I hate autoplay so much. I hate autoplay. I wish there was a way to shut it off. I lost my train of thought here. We do have lots of terror organizations hidden throughout our country, terror cells hidden throughout our country. We don't necessarily know who's a part of these groups because we don't know who they are because they came here illegally. But this could be one of those situations. It could be a terror cell that indoctrinated this guy, that convinced this guy to go through with this. Could be just a random act of violence. I guess we'll never know because he's dead. So here we have the video. He engages 3 rounds into a Tesla. And then I think he falls back and engages again. I'm not sure if he fired any rounds before this. This dude's got no clue what he's doing. He's got no plan. And like, why are you not dipping out? Why are you just sitting here recording this?
I don't have service. Do you have service? My question.
So I'm not sure if this guy got off any rounds before this. I'm not sure where this video picks up in the timelines. The next video, we have the guy in the straw hat returning fire. And it sounds like the guy with the rifle, maybe those 3 shots we heard were the guy with the rifle shooting at the guy with the suppressed pistol. Maybe that's what we heard there. Maybe there was an engagement and then we got the videos. Probably what happened. That is a pretty cool pistol, though. I mean, that is not the kind of guy I would expect to be pulling out stopping of a mass shooting. That's that dude's okay with me. Anyway, so let's read here what Brave has to say. So Brave's little breakdown here is 2026 Twin Falls shooting occurred on August 1st at a newly opened In-N-Out burger in Twin Falls, Idaho, where a 24-year-old Chad Williams opened fire, killing 3 people, wounding 7 others before dying by suicide. Sequence of events. Surveillance video released by police shows Williams starting the attack at the drive-through payment window, then moving to a nearby road and charging station. He used a handgun and an AR-15 style rifle. There was the bystander Jordan Salinas, I think, was the guy with the pistol that engaged. That's cool. So Salinas, the guy with the pistol, engages the shooter, and the shooter runs off and kills himself, as he should. I mean, you're a coward if you're going to go hit a soft target. At least it wasn't a school. I mean, I will say, at least he picked a target that wasn't the softest of targets. There's that. But I want to talk about how many people are there holding up their phone. Bro, engage this guy. Engage this guy. Pull out your gun and engage this guy. Run him the fuck over. You're in a car. Run him over. Like, you're over here holding up your phone. You're in the line of fire recording. You're in the line of fire recording on your phone. Get out of the line of fire. Get off the X. Start rendering aid. Do something other than hold your phone up. Oh, I gotta record it. I'll be famous on Twitter. What the fuck is wrong with people? You know what none of these people did? None of these people broke out a first aid kit and started rendering aid. None of these people broke out their own guns and started engaging the threat. None of these people are willing to stop the threat. None of these people are willing to live and die for the rights that we have in this country, for the people standing next to you, for the Americans in line just trying to get a cheeseburger, just like you. Now, I don't know how In-N-Out Burger does things. I know a lot of the places that we get fast food, you get trapped in line, right? It's a fatal funnel. It's a terrible tactical position to be in. We have a McDonald's, a Chick-fil-A, and a Taco Bell. I don't like using the drive-through on any of these three restaurants because you get funneled in. The McDonald's has the building on the left side, and on the right side is a gravel raised flower bed kind of thing. It's not super high, it's just like curb height. But then there's parking spots beyond that. I don't like using that because in an emergency situation, I can't peel out of there. I can't dip out. I can't get out of there. There's also a Wendy's that has a very similar setup. The Wendy's isn't as bad, but like still, it's you're not getting out of there. You're getting locked in. So your only option is to fight at that point. Your only option is to fight. I mean, you get down, you hide behind the engine block, and then when you have a lull in fire, you're going to have to try to figure out where they were shooting from and engage them. I mean, it's not a great situation to be in. The Taco Bell is building cliff. Like there's no getting out of that. The McDonald's you could probably get out of with some property damage and maybe a little bit of damage to your vehicle. The McDonald's is better. The Taco Bell ain't happening. There's a Wendy's that's kind of similar setup to the McDonald's. Ain't happening. But the Chick-fil-A is also building cliff, and you're not getting out of that. I don't like going to those places, not because I think this is going to happen, but if there's an emergency and we're all stuck here. We're all stuck here. We can't go anywhere. If that building catches on fire, so does your car. We're all stuck here. Like, people don't react well to disasters. Most people die in the first couple days of a disaster. If you survive, I think it's the first 3 days of a disaster, you're likely going to survive the whole thing because most people die in the first 3 days. That's why it's so important to have go bags. That's why it's so important to have 72-hour get home bag style sustainment options. I'm not saying I mean, here's what I'll say. It's real easy to get off the X and survive things 99% of the time. This is one of those situations, especially the guy who is filming the shooter. That dude could have got off the X 100 times over. That dude could have put an end to the shooting. When the shooter was engaging the Tesla, that dude could have put an end to the shooting right then and there if he would have hit him with his car. I understand most people don't think. Most people don't think. They just act. They just run. And their thought is self-preservation. This is why I like trucks and SUVs. Because a truck or an SUV is going to be able to get over those curbs. I can drive a truck through those bushes that are on the side of the In-N-Out Burger drive-thru. I can drive my truck through those bushes, and I can get off the X. These people didn't make any effort to get off the X. They sat there and filmed the one vehicle that was filming the guy with the suppressed pistol, Jordan. The guy that was filming Jordan was directly in the line of fire. He made no effort to get off the X. He sat on the X getting shot at. Just to get some fucking clout on Instagram? Like, my guy, what are you doing? What is that? Who does that? I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna back through the car behind me. And if you ever are in a situation like this and you need to make room, back up. Don't go forward, because if you destroy your radiator, now you're stuck. Back up, because the back of the vehicle can take a hell of a hit and it can keep going. There's nothing important back there. As long as you don't break the rear drive shaft or damage the rear axle, you can keep going. So if you have a regular, not a crazy lifted pickup truck, or you have an SUV, a Ford Explorer, a Lincoln Navigator, or a Chevy Blazer even, there is a huge impact zone in the rear, because most vehicles get rear-ended. Most impacts are rear-ending impacts. There's a huge cushion back there that you can, if you're in a drive-through and you can get 5-10 miles an hour backwards, you can push the car behind you back a little ways, and you can give yourself space to get out of there, get off the X. A lot of people aren't willing to do that. I am. I would rather deal with the insurance company than my wife go to the morgue because I didn't get off the X and I sat there and recorded. I would never want to be in that situation. And if I am in that situation, I'm probably going to engage the shooter. Unless I have children with me, or if I have children with me, I'm always going to get off the X. That is something you should consider. If you have children with you, you are forced to get off the X. You can't be trying to wrangle children in a gunfight. The person that we watched film the shooter in the little Chevy Aveo or Chevy Spark or whatever it is, the first video we watched, that dude was by himself. That dude could have engaged the shooter. That dude could have gotten off the X. That dude sat on the X waiting to die. It's ridiculous. It's unacceptable. The person that filmed Jordan returning fire sat on the X waiting to die. These people, luckily they weren't killed. Luckily they weren't hurt. But these people sat on the X waiting to be killed. They did nothing. And I'm pretty sure the person who filmed Jordan, I'm pretty sure they were in a truck. Let's see if we can see. Yeah, it looks like they're in a truck. It's kind of hard to tell, but it looked like a truck mirror. And then after Jordan started moving towards them, then they decide, okay, it's time to get off the X. This isn't fun anymore. The other person in the little blue car, he sat in the car. I think it's blue. It's like a Chevy Aveo or something. Maybe I just made up that it was blue. Yeah, the guy in the little Chevy Aveo sits in the line of fire. He doesn't move. He doesn't try to get off the X. At least the guy filming Jordan tried to get off the X. Still shouldn't have been filming him. You still should have been focusing on getting off the X. But I guess if you're gonna be a fucking moron about it and you're gonna fucking hang out on the X, I guess yeah, make an effort to get off the X when the guy who's actually doing the job starts getting shot at. It boggles my mind the way people will just sit there and just get shot at. Like, I'm just ready to be a statistic here. I'm probably gonna die here, but I'm just gonna stay here. Like, at the very least, get out of the vehicle, displace yourself from the vehicle, and shelter behind the front tires. It's where the engine and the transmission are. That gives you the highest survival rate. A 22 will tear through car doors. And I know this because I've shot cars that people have stolen and left in the woods. I've shot cars with 22s. And I have a 22 short, a small. It's small. I think it's the smallest round you can buy, least powerful round you can buy. A 22 short out of like a 1-inch barrel cuts through both car doors. It's like the most anemic round you can buy, and it cuts through the skin of both. Now I don't know if it would go through if the windows were down on both doors and the door panels were intact. I don't know if it would go through all of that, but I'm just saying layer of metal, 22 short, straight through both layers. 22 long rifle out of a Ruger 1022 tears through a car door. I'm sure of it. It at least comes into the cabin. I don't know if it goes out, but it at least comes into the cabin with enough ass still to injure. It might not kill you, but it can still injure you. You get a 5.56, it tears through both rounds of that car, and it is both sides of that car, and it is cooking with enough ass when it comes out the other side of that car that it is still a lethal round. 9mm, 45, they're all going to cut through a car. Everyone thinks it's like the movies where the bullet hits the car and it chips the paint off in a circle and the bullet doesn't go through the car. No, bullets go through cars. Bullets go through cars really easily. Even a 22 round. This is a regular 22 round. A 22 short is even smaller than this. Here's nail clippers for comparison. 22 short's even smaller than this. And that tears through both sides of a car. We take our safety for granted in this country because we live in such a safe country. This shooting shows you these things can happen anywhere. These things can happen anytime, anywhere, no matter what you're doing. You could be out in the woods riding your dirt bike and someone could engage you with a hunting rifle. You could be at the mall and someone can engage you with a Glock, with a switch. You can be wherever. You could be at the car dealership buying a car and someone can come in with a rifle, with a pistol, with a shotgun and start trying to kill people. You need to learn, if you're one of these people that sits here and records, you need to learn how to make yourself move and get off the X. I understand sometimes it's real easy to just kind of tense up and hide there in the moment. It's real easy. And if you're gonna hide, you have to find good cover. You need to understand ballistics and what they do. I don't care if you don't like guns. You need to understand ballistics. 5.56 is going to tear through a lot of shit. You're not hiding under a desk. You're not safe under a desk from 5.56. You're not safe under a desk from a 22. It's been circulated. I'm not sure what caliber the guy that responded with, Jordan. It's been circulated that he was engaging with a 22. I don't think he was. It sounded louder than a 22. Suppressed 22 is damn near silent. It sounded louder than that. I would say probably a suppressed 9mm. I know 45 gets real quiet as well. I'd say, like I said, I couldn't really see what size cartridge is ejecting. It's kind of hard to tell. It's not great footage. It's pretty quiet. I couldn't tell you, honestly. I couldn't tell you what it is. I got no idea. But I digress. It doesn't necessarily matter what he's engaging with, just that he's engaging. Because the shooter isn't expecting someone to engage. The shooter isn't expecting people to get off the X. The shooter is expecting everyone to sit there and freeze and be a duck in a fucking, or a fish in a barrel, and just get shot. These shooters are never expecting someone to say hell no and return fire. When these things happen, and I hope that some interviews come out with the response and what happened, but I would really love to hear Jordan's side of the story. I'm sure everyone who is involved with firearms is reaching out to him right now. I digress. If you have 8 rounds of 45, say you're carrying a 1911, and you engage this guy and you run all 8 rounds of 45 out of your gun, he doesn't know that. What he does know is someone's shooting at him, and if he doesn't know exactly where you're coming from, he's probably going to run away. He doesn't know what you're engaging him with. He doesn't know, oh, that's a 45 coming at me. He's going to hear a couple of them rounds come close, and he's going to fuck off and run. Because that dude doesn't want to get shot in the fucking face. 9 times out of 10. He wants to do that later. Most of these guys, they're cowards. They don't want to get killed. They want to run away, and they want the manhunt. They want to run away and kill themselves somewhere else because they want the manhunt. They want the drama, the lockdown. They're after that. They're into that. And then when they get caught, they'll blow their brains out because they're cowards. I do not see a way that we allow this to keep happening without people just finally saying, look, the police aren't coming to help you. The police are going to write you a ticket for holding your cell phone. They're not going to come stop the mass shooting. They're not obligated to. They're obligated to generate income for the state. That's all they do. They generate revenue. The police aren't there to help you. It's literally not their job. There's a case law that basically says, yeah, cops don't have to help you. Cops don't have to put themselves at risk to help you. Most of them will, but a lot of them, they don't have to. They definitely don't. It doesn't matter that they should. They don't have to do it. And a lot of cops are cowards. We have a problem with policing now where we have a lot of cops that are just cowards. They're not going to engage until there's 4, 5, 6 guys. They're not going to do anything until they have overwhelming support. Well, and in that time, people died. Look at Uvalde, Texas. They had the whole school locked down and just let that dude kill everyone in there for as long as he wanted to until I believe he eventually killed himself. They just let the fire burn. They're not obligated to help you. They're not coming to save you. No one is. You have to be the paramedic. You have to be the cop. You have to be your own tow truck. You have to be the only person that is coming to save your ass. Because no one else gives a shit if you live or die. You're the only one that cares if you live or die. So bear that in mind. Because I'm getting real tired of, I see police officers and they're pulling you over for doing 5 over. And then I watch a video of a mass shooting. I watch a video of a drive-by and the cops do nothing about it. It's unresolved. I see a video of, neighbor kid playing with kid across the street and there's a shootout going on down the road and the parents run away and leave the kids to fend for themselves and the cops are nowhere to be found. There's a sustained gunfight going on and the cops are nowhere to be found. I'm tired of it. I'm really tired of it. The police aren't going to help you. It's not their job to help you. It's their job to get you into the system so that they can either milk as much money out of you as possible or put you in a prison. They're not coming to save your ass. They don't care about saving your ass. And when they do come after you've stopped the threat, after you've engaged and stopped the threat, you get arrested. You go to jail. You're the only one that can save your life, and they're going to railroad you for it. It almost feels like their purpose is kind of a lie. They don't really have the purpose they say they do. But I digress. I wanted to talk about this. It's something that's really been weighing on my mind, and maybe we'll talk more about the police thing later because I've just had a real bad experience with cops lately, and it's just got me thinking like these cops are useless. I had the neighbor's dog attack me, and the cops say, "Well, if you shoot the dog, we may have to arrest you for discharging a firearm within city limits." I can't defend myself within city limits. I'm not allowed to defend myself on a residential street. Since when? I don't think that's how that works. I've had a lot of cops do a lot of shady shit, and they're very useless. And it's made me double down on you are the only one that cares if you live or die. You are the only one that matters in the equation when it's life or death. You have to win. You have to be the one to win. Because you're the only one that cares if you win. Nobody else, when it's life or death, gives a fuck if you win or lose. And if you lose, you're not the only one paying that price. Your wife's paying that price. Your kids are paying that price. If you lose, a lot of people lose someone important that can teach them you're the only one that matters. Win. I don't care how. Win. My wife and I were talking about this. When I was a kid, I was always told, don't ever throw the first punch. My nephew gets told, we don't bite. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we fucking do. We bite. We throw the first punch. Because if you don't, you die. If you get told your whole life, we don't bite, and then you're getting choked out, and you go, well, I could bite this guy, but grandma always told me we don't bite. Nah, fuck that. Bite. If you ever watched Sons of Anarchy, Tig bites all the time. Tig bites chunks off of motherfuckers in the first couple seasons, like 3 or 4 times. Like, Tig likes biting people. Why? Because it wins the fight. I was friends with an old Marine, and he told me, you might beat the shit out of me, but if I get a hold of you, I'm biting chunks off of you. It's like, I'm not going to beat the shit out of you. I'm going to bite chunks off of you. You do what it takes to win. It doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter when you're in these situations. You get off the X, and if you have to engage, you do what it takes to win. If you can't get out of there, you win. And if you don't, you enjoy Valhalla with the other warriors. It's the only option, really. You win or it's Valhalla. And I'm good with either one of those. I prefer to win, though. I'm not a big fan of losing. Especially if it's some fucking twink. I would be real pissed if I got domed by some twink at a fucking In-N-Out burger. I would be real pissed. And these people that are dead, that have died because of this, I'm sure some of them were people that would stand up for what's right and that would do what it takes to defend themselves. But I'm sure most of them were like, oh my God, someone called the police. The police ain't there. They don't even enter into the equation. If there's not a police officer standing right there shooting back, the police don't even enter into the equation because the fight's over before they show up 99% of the time. Anyway, I'll leave it there. This is something that really gets me wound up. I'll leave it there. I just wanted to talk about this a little bit. Something to think on, something to chew on. It's been kind of bothering me. I've been thinking about it for a while and wanted to yap about it. So